Bonhams & Butterfields is one of the oldest and largest auction houses in the world, offering sales in more categories from more sales rooms than any other company. From arms and armor, fine wine to fine paintings and sculpture, motor cars to books and manuscripts. Recently, Bonham successfully won the right to represent Bruce McKinney's renowned collection of Americana. In order to celebrate this landmark event, we have elected to produce a behind-the-scenes documentary. This is episode 1, designed to record the stages of production of an auction of this scope and importance, one of the finest single-owner collections relating to the American experience. Bonhams won this business following stiff competition from the other auction houses. This episode will cover the initial stages of producing a major auction, with a team on both coasts, in Los Angeles, New York, and San Francisco. We begin with the process of inventory control, including tagging and lotting the collection in our secure warehouse in San Francisco, and the beginning of research by our team for cataloging this extensive and bibliographically rich collection. We will also review the initial stages of photography selection. Every item is carefully reviewed for completeness and electronically scanned into its location to ensure its identification throughout the cataloging process. These are all essential steps to producing a professional catalog that can properly illuminate the historic collection on offer. We hope you enjoy this series of behind-the-scenes films, designed to illustrate the anatomy of an auction. Cataloging the collection, I mean, the thing about McKinney's collection is there's so many extremely rare examples. I mean, you were telling me yesterday that the number of references in house to D rarity is very high. But one of the more rare ones we have is here, the Whittier volume that is not recorded in any of the OCLC libraries. Is that right?
Right. Look at this poem I found. 1838, Farewell of a Virginia slave mother to her daughter sold into Southern bondage by Whittier. 1838 has the abolitionist theme.
Right. It's very interesting to think that it's probably not been recorded, as far as we're aware, in any of the literature on Whittier, and the fact that his brother was the publisher of the newspaper is another connection that's really phenomenal. I think this is something that, even though it's not necessarily well known, is definitely going to get a lot of traction and interest from the Americana collector, being so unbelievably rare. It's very difficult to find something like this in
I think it'll appeal to both the newspaper collector and the Whittier collector.
Obviously, you've had a chance to look at the auction records to see if there's any records of it having appeared in
Nothing.
The standard sources, Americana Exchange as well.
I looked through a number of places and I could find nothing.
That's amazing. Let's go through the various steps then. We looked at the standard references, the bibliography of American literature. Is it in there?
I checked the bibliography of American literature, found nothing.
It's possible that because most libraries don't collect newspapers, as a matter of course, they may not have had a chance to record it. Let's go on and check some of the library sites. Since it's a Massachusetts publication, the Hollis catalog at Harvard, and see if they have that. Typically you find when you're dealing with a New England imprint, or specifically a Massachusetts imprint, if it's not in the Hollis catalog, then it is particularly rare. I'm not getting any records here at all, even if they have a library. There was a scholar who wrote a biography of him, and the Whittier trustees were one of the benefactors who published the book. But I think that was back in the 70s. I wonder if there's another source that we can go to. Isn't there a special library down in Florida that has New England imprints? We should probably send a catalog description to the librarian of the University of Florida, the trustees at the Whittier homestead, and possibly librarians at the Houghton Library to see if they've had any references to the book. This is another item from the McKinney collection, map of Mexico. What's the story with this?
Well, from a previous auction house, they don't really pin down exactly which issue it is.
Okay.
And I thought we should.
Absolutely. It has appeared in the auction records. Historical Society copy here, I see. For the New Jersey Historical Society had it at one time.
So it's a
beautiful,
very clean example.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Great color.
Yeah.
This is actually a wartime map, and it shows some of the battles that had happened in this Mexican-American War. We have the battle at the Alamo here, designated by a flag, and then you have the inset of the late battle, so it's up to date at Monterey.
Wow.
So that's why it was constantly updated.
I see. What I was thinking we could do is, because we're nearby some important map libraries, the Bancroft and Stanford, one of the things that's obviously useful is to go and compare our example with theirs.
Right. I checked Wheat, and Wheat doesn't have any specific examples.
Oh, is that right?
They have just the Wheat copy listed in their reference book.
Interesting. This is the Catlin North American Indian portfolio. Need to make some decisions about the photography. It's very clean. This is going to get a lot of coverage in the catalog, so we're probably going to have 3 or 4 pictures, right?
I think we should be safe.
Binding, title page, which is in excellent condition. What is the first plate in the book? Aha.
I think we should definitely use this.
Wow. It's in excellent condition, isn't it?
Very clean.
That could even almost be a candidate for the cover shot. But see if we can get as much of the margins in as possible as well, because we're not seeing any of the usual foxing on the edges. What other candidates did you have in mind?
I think we should use the Buffalo.
The Buffalo Hunt, yeah. Okay, let's mark that down too. What about number 8 here? What about the Buffalo Dance? Possibly.
It's a possibility. I like that one.
That one, yeah. That's terrific.
You could see how great an artist Catlin was here.
Yeah. That's about 3 or 4 shots. We may have to make a selection where we reduce the number depending on the layout, but I think it's great to have the full coverage. Well, let's see about the last plate.
Oh, that's great.
Depending on the layout and the number of pages, well, we'll make a decision when we lay out the catalog. That's terrific. This is an incredible example.